well, we spend a lot of time analyzing the little breadcrumbs you leave us, the clues that we feel are so important to this investigation. And you said he threw all these big parties in the 1980s that all the biggest child stars went to. So my team searched through every possibility using all the clues you left us. And we came up with this image, this man. I'm going to show you his picture. I want you just to confirm if it's the right person or not, okay? Is that him? Mm-hmm. That's him, the man who abused you. Did you give his name to the LAPD?
Yes.
Can I share his name with America?
I just don't want, I mean, again, I don't have legal representation yet.
Then let me, as the host of this show, try to reciprocate some of your braveness by sharing the name myself.
Okay.
The man whose picture I just showed to Corey, his name is Alfie Hoffman. What does that name mean to you?
Well, he was the guy who ran Alfie's Soda Pop Club. And I met him when I was 12 years old. He came to my house to pick me up in his car. And I had heard rumors that he threw the coolest parties in town, and he was very connected. And he was the son of Bobby Hoffman, who was the top casting director at the time for one of the major studios. That studio ran many of the hit shows that were on TV at the time, from Happy Days to Laverne and Shirley to Mork and Mindy. I mean, all the top shows, and many of the shows that I guest appeared on as a kid, because I went from one show to the next to the next. So when you got an invite to go to Bobby Hoffman's private party, this was a very big thing. And the fact that his son was coming to pick me up himself was also a very big thing. And my mom ushered me into the car and said, "Go have fun." And the first few times I went, it was fairly innocent. I mean, that's where, if you read my book and you talk about the story where I started dancing like Michael Jackson, I started doing the Billie Jean, and they were throwing me the hat and everybody was circling around me, and that's what started my whole music career, was going to those parties and getting that feedback from people. That happened at those parties. And those parties were relatively kid-friendly. But interestingly, that's where I met the guy that ended up molesting Haim. That's where, there was a bunch of these guys. They were all hanging out together at these parties. And the thing is, there weren't a lot of parents at the party. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of kids everywhere. And there was a lot of producer-type guys and Hollywood-type guys. And maybe one or two moms, maybe three moms that kind of chaperoned. Yeah. But really, there weren't a lot of parents there, because he would pick them up and he became friends with all these kids.
On the heels of the Harvey Weinstein sex scandal, Corey Feldman is on a mission, as he describes it, to clean up Hollywood. And it's taking on new meaning given those new allegations against Kevin Spacey that we talked about a little earlier. Feldman, a former child star, is trying to raise $10 million to fund a documentary that he says will expose a ring of pedophiles in the movie industry. We'll talk to him exclusively in a moment, but first, his latest effort to tell his story.
We have the ability to let our voices be heard and break the dam of silence.
Corey Feldman once again opening up about the dark side of the spotlight. In a new YouTube video, the former child star vowing to expose a ring of Hollywood pedophiles who he claims abused thousands of children.
I can name 6 names. One of them who's still very powerful today.
Feldman posting the video after launching an online campaign aimed at raising $10 million to fund his plan to reveal what he calls the truth.
I propose to do this by making a film that'll be the most honest and true depiction of child abuse ever portrayed, by telling my own story in a very real way.
We're fighters for truth, justice, and the American way.
A 1980s teenage heartthrob, Feldman became best known for his roles in movies like The Goonies, The Lost Boys, and Stand By Me.
Keep me on TV. Sure, we'll be heroes.
But along with the fame, Feldman says he learned firsthand about Hollywood's big secret, a secret he tried to reveal without naming names.
I can tell you that the #1 problem in Hollywood was and is and always will be pedophilia. And they're some of the richest, most powerful people in this business. And children aren't supposed to handle that sort of stuff.
Humiliation. I know, I've been through it. But that's all over now.
Feldman has long claimed as young actors he and fellow child star Corey Haim were molested by older men in the entertainment industry. Allegations he also wrote about in his 2013 memoir, Choreography.
I've been living in fear and been living with this my entire life.
For years, let me start by asking you, how prevalent is what you're talking about in Hollywood today?
I believe there's a lot of darkness in Hollywood right now, and I believe it's been there for quite some time. And as we've seen with the Harvey Weinstein scandal, it continues to unfold. New names come forward every day. Now there's names of misconduct with Kevin Spacey, with this, child actor who came forward today. It's going to continue unraveling. This is just the beginning. It's just the tip of the iceberg. So everything you're seeing is building up to what I believe is going to be a dam breaking open.
So let me talk about this Corey's Truth effort. You want to raise $10 million. You want to produce and direct this documentary.
It's not a documentary.
It's a film.
I need to stop you there. It is a film. I want to make a feature film, which is why we need the budget that we need. There's actors, there's scripts, there's special effects.
But is it going to involve real people, real names of people active in Hollywood right now?
It will be a very true story. We will have every name that everybody that affected my life. I'm going to give the perspective that I can give, what I viewed, what I experienced from a first-hand account.
In all fairness, though, we've been down this road before with you, and you have promised in the past to name names.
Never.
In your book, you said when you were talking about your book, you said you were going to blow the lid off of this.
This is why I'm doing this, because when I wrote my book, the publishers prevented me from writing the names down.
That's what I meant by we were down this road before. Yeah. We didn't get the names we were promised last time.
Which is why I'm taking the matter into my own hands, and this is why I need America's support. I need the world's support, because I must make a film with no executives, no VPs,
but why do you need $10 million? Film students make movies for fractions.
Well, that's a film student. We're talking about a theatrical release. We're talking about I'm going to four-wall the theaters, I'm going to self-distribute, self-market, make the film, and hire a team of attorneys who are going to protect me and the film when everybody comes after me.
You've raised just under $200,000, correct? Is that about right? So it's going to take a long time to raise $10 million.
We've got 2 months.
And you've just told me that this is still prevalent in Hollywood. So every day you wait, every day you try to raise money, I would imagine you believe that children are being abused by pedophiles in Hollywood.
Absolutely.
So why are you sitting down talking to me? Why aren't you sitting down with the police right now?
I've told the police. In fact, if anybody wants to go back to 1993, when I was interviewed by the Santa Barbara Police Department, I sat there and I gave them the names. They're on record. They have all of this information, but they were scanning Michael Jackson. All they cared about was trying to find something on Michael Jackson.
Who you said, by the way, did not abuse you.
Who Michael was innocent, and that was what the interview was about with the police in 1993. I told them he is not that guy, and they said, well, maybe you just don't understand your friend. And I said, no, I know the difference between pedophiles and somebody who's not a pedophile because I've been molested. Here's the names. Go investigate. And let me push this forward. There are thousands of people in Hollywood who have this same information. Why is it all on me? Why is it if I don't release the names in the next 2 months, 6 months, or a year, I'm the bad guy? I'm the victim here. I'm the one who's been abused. I'm the one who's trying to come forward and do something about it.
But
hold on, please, I'm sorry. There are thousands of people out there, Matt, who have this information. Any one of those child actors that went to the teenage soda pop clubs with me when I was a kid know who those people are and the people who ran it. Anybody can go back through history and look at the teen magazines and say, what was the name of that venue they were all promoting and who ran that venue and who endorsed it?
You've said you've had death threats.
Yes.
Because you have this information and have threatened to expose it. Another reason, I think, to go to police, that's a crime, to threaten someone's life.
I've gone to the police with that as well.
And what would be wrong with going to the police now again? Didn't work out in Santa Barbara.
There's a statute of limitations, Matt, in the state of California, which protects people. It's not that way in New York. It's that way only where the movie industry is, conveniently enough, in California. That's the seriousness of this. You cannot, because if I were to go to the police, I would be the one who's getting sued. Henceforth, I need a team of lawyers and I need a team of security to be around me at all times to keep me safe so I can get this message done.
Real
I'm not
quickly.
playing around. It's serious stuff, and I vow I will release every single name that I have any knowledge of, period. And nobody's going to stop me this time, as long as people support this.
Corey Feldman.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
I appreciate
sir.
it.